Hello everyone, Tutu Mora here with The Why, bringing you tools to feel well in your body, mind, and spirit. Today we are going to be focusing on some of the tension that can be created when we're feeling stressed. So often when we are feeling stressed, we become a little bit more rigid, a little bit more tense, as if we're kind of bracing against something. And that can actually inhibit our ability to breathe efficiently, which of course will impact everything else happening in our body. So it's a very important thing to regularly check in with yourself. How are you breathing? How is tension feeling in your body? And to let go of what's available to let go of. And today we're going to be doing that very gently with a squishy ball. Now I have an orange Franklin method ball here. You do not have to use that if you don't have it. You can really use any kind of squishy ball that you have at home. So what we're going to be doing is I want you to just find your collarbone. You can stay seated here or standing, however is comfortable. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take that little squishy ball right at the line underneath your collarbone. And we're just gonna very gently just take it back and forth along the chest here. I'm not putting a lot of pressure here. Just gently taking it back and forth. Now you can choose what kind of pressure feels good for you. I would always recommend starting out more gently than you think, because we're really just kind of massaging here. A very gentle fascial release, muscle release. So take it gently. We're gonna take it back and forth here just a few times, and then we're gonna take it a notch lower. Just taking it back and forth from the sternum to kind of the side here, right where you're gonna meet your arm. Now, while you're doing this, you can just breathe normally through your nose, or however normal breathing looks for you. And we're going to take it a notch lower. So just taking that down a little more. And we'll take a couple more here. Now, so what we're doing and what we'll be doing here in a minute is essentially creating more space and movement for the diaphragm, which when we tense up or when we get a little rigid and stressed, that can inhibit diaphragmatic breathing and diaphragmatic movement. So let's just take that back up to where we started. Again, just gentle pressure, taking it back and forth. Right back up to that line of the collarbone. Now we're going to stay with this same side here. I'm going to have you find a wall just to lean up against. And so I'm just going to tilt my screen here so you can see a wall. And now I started with this side, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just standing in a narrow hallway so we can see both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that ball right at the right at my rib cage here. So I'm going to start right about beneath the armpit. I'm going to put that ball right beneath my armpit here. My front arm is just coming in front of me to allow for space for the ball movement. But so you can see, I'll just lift my arm up in the air. Now all I'm going to do is take that forward and take that back so that ball can massage that line of the rib cage. Now again, I'm not leaning too much into the ball or the wall here, just a very gentle pressure. We're just massaging out some of that tension. And then we can take that down a notch same thing. Just taking it back and forth, adding in that little rotation so you can get that kind of wrap around of the ribs. Again, breathing normally through the nose. And we'll take it a notch down. We'll take a couple more here along this line and we'll move down once more before we move to the other side. But of course, you're welcome to stay with this as long as it feels supportive. So if you want to stay with kind of that movement across the chest that we were doing for a little longer, you know, we have to keep this short, but when you have this practice for yourself, take it as long as feels necessary for you. And I'll take that ball away. Now, before we switch sides, just take a moment and feel the difference to each side. Now, it's not going to be a huge difference, but it will feel like you've let go of a little bit of tension through that space, almost like those muscles were able to give a little exhale. So let's take that to the other side here, knowing that this other side is going to be a little bit different feeling for you because, you know, the sides of the body, depending on how they're used, are just, you know, going to feel a little different. Dominant side versus the other side. So once again, let's just find that line of the collarbone here and start to take that back and forth across the chest, choosing the pressure that feels good for you. We'll take that a notch lower here. And once again, just a little lower, breathing normally through the nose. All right, so let's just take that back up to the line of the collarbone, just taking it to whatever spots feel like need a little bit of extra attention here. And again, you're welcome to pause this video if you'd like to take a little bit longer through this space. And then you can go ahead and find your wall once again. And we'll take it to the other side. So finding that spot right below the armpit, you can bring your front arm in front of you. So this same side, but for the purposes of the video, my arm will be up in the air so you can see. And again, we'll just take that back and forward, massaging out that rib cage. Nice and gentle pressure. You don't need to lean heavily into the wall. You can choose the pressure that feels supportive. Now, let's move that just a little bit of a notch lower. Of course, if you feel like you want to spend more time in that space, feel free to do so. This can be a practice that you take on your own time once you know where you're going. And we'll take that a notch lower. And one more, just a little lower. Taking it all the way down to the bottom of the rib cage. And we'll take just a couple more. You can let that ball go. And again, as you stand here, noticing how it feels, not only just to stand and be, but how does it feel to breathe? Is your breath able to enter your body a little bit more deeply without you needing to consciously deepen your breath? And so this can be a lovely tool just to break up your day if you feel like you're having a moment of stress. As well, it can be a lovely way to unwind from your day. So let this work for you in the way that feels right throughout your day. And I'll see you back here next time on the Wise YouTube channel. Take care.